Hello and good morning. It's 8:15 Central. Excuse me while I make sure I look appropriate to talk. I hope everyone's having a great Wednesday morning. Welcome to another edition of Leslie's Corner. We're here in Leslie's Corner. It is a rainy day here in Alabama, where we are. I think parts of Hurricane Harvey are making their way, and they're here. So, anyways, but our thoughts and prayers go out to all of those affected with Hurricane Harvey. Comment below if you have a specific prayer request for you or someone you may know who has been affected by Harvey. And we'll definitely be praying. If they need anything, let us know. We have a lot of people that we know that are heading up different not really fundraising, but relief efforts to kind of help get supplies out there. But anyways, so funny story this morning with this rain that came in. My hair's all like frizzy, and if y'all hear too, side note, I got clothes going, washing in there, so y'all may hear the wash machine going. But so I put my hair up in curlers in the morning, and then I tease it and then spray it, and I don't really fix it perfect until right before I get out of the car, so it's still kind of all bumpy looking. Well, I guess this morning I don't know what I'm thinking. So I get back in the car from going to preschool, dropping Paisley off, and I just happened to look at myself in the reflection of my car window as I'm walking back to the car to get in, and I had this big old honking thing up like this, and I was like, oh my. So no wonder people were looking at me weird, and I was like, get that all down. So anyways, that was a little funny story. But this morning, I just wanted to share just really fast about time and God's timing with different events in our lives. And obviously, we can plan accordingly and what we feel is best for our personal lives, our family's lives, in the direction that we feel like God is taking us. Ultimately, we do not have final say-so in those plans. As believers, we know who is in control of all of that. He has a plan for everything, because all things work in accordance to Him and His plan. So, this morning I just wanted to share about how do we know when it's time for the next step, the next phase, whatever. What does the Bible say about time? So I was thinking there's a lot of excellent verses about time in Ecclesiastes. And I know sometimes we kind of get in a rut and we kind of think to ourselves, like, okay, God, I have a timeline and a timetable of when I think certain things should happen, and they're not happening the way I feel like they should be happening. What are you doing? I feel so alone. I feel like you're silent. What is going on? What is my purpose? I can't get to my purpose without taking that next step. And just a little background information, for the past probably about 10 years of my life, I felt like I was always in a holding place, if you would, waiting for the next step. I was waiting on the right time to take it to the next step. With my working career, I felt like at times I was in a rut. I felt like what I was doing at my job was not beneficial for my life. I felt like I was not using my abilities to the best. I constantly was praying for a change, and God didn't answer that. I went on interviews constantly trying to change and go to the next step, but God kept me where I was. It wasn't until our adoption that I knew exactly why He kept me there, because that's where I needed to be. And so I could then turn to being a stay-at-home mom once Paisley came home. And then after Paisley got home, I was constantly questioning, what is this time that I'm in right now? I knew my purpose at that particular point in time, but I personally felt unfulfilled because I was not working. So it's like a constant battle that I was having with God, and wanting to know, when is the time for the next step? And I was not fully appreciating the time that I was in, because in that particular time He was preparing me for the next step. And it was hard for me to understand that in that moment of me wanting the next thing, that He was actually prepping me at that time, and I needed to be focused on that particular moment. So in Ecclesiastes, I'm just going to read these verses to you. You are probably familiar with these, because whenever we talk about time, from a biblical standpoint, this is kind of what we refer to. But it's Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 8. There's a time for everything, and a season for every activity under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, and a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. I feel like these verses kind of sum up everything. Even though we may feel like we're in a place of complacency, wanting more, we have to remember that this is the time that God has given to us. And it's this time that He has called us to do what it is He wants us to do now. The next thing that we want, the next phase, the next step of our life that we're wanting for ourselves, that will come. Or it may not. It may be something different. But we have to trust Him and know that whatever season of life we're in now, that He has us here for a reason. If we are constantly seeking Him, seeking His face, seeking His word, seeking Him in everything that we do, the season that we're in is exactly where He wants us to be. And when it's time to move on to the next phase, He will do so according to His plan and His will. So rest assured, my friends, that again, going back to the verse that kind of kicked off this series of time together that we have, Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord." And just know that He knows the plans. So enjoy this time that you have right now. Savor it, love it, because when you get to the next phase of your life, whatever that may be, you will look back on that and cherish those times. Don't be like me and look back and say, man, I wish I had made the most of every single day, every single moment of that phase. Don't regret. Keep seeking Him. And thank you for watching Leslie's Corner. Anyways, thank you so much again. And make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can get up to date on everything going on with the Todds. Paisley's birthday's coming up next Tuesday, actually, so I will not be able to talk to you live again until after she turns 5. 5. She's growing up. We got a party this weekend. Daniel's going to be recording it. We're going to vlog about it. We got Grammy and Grandvan coming up. We got Aunt Leah coming down. Susu and Mikey are going to be here. We got other family, friends coming. Aunt Jane, remember her? Sissy and Josh, unfortunately, won't be able to come. But that's all right. We'll see them sometime soon. But anyways, it's going to be a great weekend. Birthday party weekend. Paisley turns 5, people. 5. And so, thank you so much for watching. But anyways, y'all have a great day and stay safe. And just know that we love each and every one of you. And we pray for you. And if you want to send us an email with any specific prayer requests at all, we would love, love, love to pray with you and stand in agreement with what God has for you in your life. And yeah, anyways, our email address is Leslie and Daniel Todd. Wait, is that right? Leslie and Daniel Todd at gmail.com. All one word, all spelled out. Leslie and Daniel Todd at gmail.com. Anyways, y'all have a blessed day. And thank you so much for stopping by. See y'all later.